Do you know what exalted weapons needed? Influence, said no one ever, but here we are. Now I know some exalted weapons got a much bigger change than the old E-blade, but I mean, come on, it's the E-blade. It would be silly to start with something else. Now it doesn't really matter which Excalibur you do this on. I'm gonna do it on Umbra because, well, why not? But a normal Excalibur, or if you're one of the select few, Excalibur Prime will do just fine. So let us give the new and improved exalted blade a shot, shall we? Okay, I guess I don't have an Excalibur set up. Well, let's make a new one then. Should we do normal or Umbra? I'm feeling Umbra. We will need some better fashion though. Hell yeah. That looks sick. I'm actually really proud of myself. Honestly, like, that's got to be some of the best fashion frame I've ever put together. It's nothing spectacular, it's pretty basic setup with chromatic blade and like a decent amount of strength. What can I say? I like my frames like I like my women. Thick as hell. Need some serious beef to tank me. Oh, I can't say that. I mean, yeah, influence, obviously. That's got to be absolutely cracked on a chromatic blade setup. This is Umbra, so we do have two Umbra polarities, and I suppose we do go with pressure and steel, unless we want to format that away, which would be rather foolish. Elementalist, for sure. And we could go with reflex, but I think they actually built combo now. Organe Shatter, and then I guess we can go with just pure elemental mods? Yes, gas electricity, because then we can run Prime Fever Strike for a ridiculous amount of damage. Yeah, for sure. So let's get Molten Impact in there as well. We could just do that to bolster the electricity. That's not the worst idea in the world. Oh, there goes Influence. Hell yeah. That's pretty cool. That's not a bad start. And yes, it does build its own combo now. You don't have to strike the enemies with the sword anymore, which is a massive boon. Let's add some priming. Oh, that actually looks quite nice. Look at that. Vital Heat, faux show. By the way, the chromatic blade energy on this is blue for more electricity. Hell yeah. Like, considering this is basically the worst case scenario because we're fighting against heavy armor with minimal armor strip. This is quite dope. Let's try something that doesn't mitigate like a massive portion of our damage. Oh, get melted. Get melted, shield boys. That is glorious. Man, this fashion really is pimpin'. Before I forget about it, let's swap Reflex for Berserker Fury for more attack speed. Oh, that feels so much better. Yo, look at my cape. Flowing like the wind, that is very cool. Right off the bat, like, I must say, this is tremendous. Like, Exalted Blade has always been really good, but this is like a whole other level of good. This is ridiculous because, like, I've been playing this game for a really long time, and just to think how far we have come, because most of you probably don't remember this, but Excalibur, one of his abilities back in the day was Super Jump, that you would press, and it had the audacity to actually consume energy, and all it did was make you jump. So we've come from that to this. It's mind-boggling. One thing I am wondering is whether or not Tennokai works on this. Because it does have an Exilus slot, right? So presumably we could run Tennokai. I didn't actually check. Seriously though, Tennokai on this would be absolutely bonkers. Looks like we can do it. I can't see anything that would indicate otherwise. I think we actually go with Discipline's Merit because we have a lot of attack speed, so we can fire them out really rapidly. I'm not gonna lie, it feels weird to be using Tennokai. It just, I don't know, I'm just used to Exalted Blade being this very, like, frantic, flaily thing. It kind of breaks the flow. I retract my previous statement about it feeling weird. I just need to get used to it. It actually feels quite nice now. And the damage, oh boy, the damage. I've seen some big numbers. Give me a proc, there we go, whoosh. Not bad, not bad. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm actually liking this, yeah, I think I like the Tennokai. I wonder if maybe, like, Blast would be better. There's also that new attack speed mode that has like magnetic on it. Maybe we tried that as well. Honestly though, considering this is one of the worst factions to fight with a setup like this without proper armor strip, this is doing pretty damn well. I really don't want to drop Prime Fever Strike, but let's give it a try. Yeah, that's the one. So this way we get electricity, magnetic, and blast. I don't know. Let's try it. I don't know, man. Feels much worse actually. In pretty much every way. Like, there are some occasional blast pops. Like, that was a pretty good blast pop right there, but overall, I think I like the gas much better. Also, I'm not a big fan of the magnetic either. Like, it kind of gets in the way. And you do get considerably less attack speed with that mod compared to Berserker Fury. Yeah, that was just bad. Just straight up bad. So back to gas. Do we actually get more damage per hit? We do. Plus we don't have to reformite to run Tennokai. Yeah, this is like 100%. This is so much better than the other setup. The only weakness is like heavy armor. But well, I don't know if I would call it a weakness though. It's still effective, just not quite as effective as it is against non-armored units. One thing I will say though is that I don't think I would have gone for a hybrid setup with crit if I was doing it on the normal Excalibur. I only really did it because we had those two Umbra polarities on the blade, so it made sense to run both sacrificial mods. But if I was to do it on the normal Excalibur, I think I would have leaned fully into status instead. Alright, I'm pretty happy with this, so let's go do the thing. So, just a quick reminder of my actual Excalibur setup. It's nothing spectacular, it's just really tanky with chromatic blade, decent amount of strength and a little bit of efficiency. I do run Arcane Strike here though, which adds a ton of extra attack speed. For the actual blade setup, we have Blue Energy, which changes our base damage to electricity, and for our Tennokai trigger, we have Discipline's Merit, which makes it so that Tennokai triggers every 4 hits rather than randomly. For the mods, we have Sacrificial Pressure for base damage, Sacrificial Steel for crit chance, Organ Shatter for crit damage, Berserker Fury for attack speed, Galvanized Elementalist for status chance and status damage, and we top it off with Shocking Touch to bolster the electricity, as well as Prime Fever Strike and Molten Impact for a ton of gas. Our arcane of choice here is Melee Influence. Unsurprisingly, it's just a really strong arcane, probably the strongest melee arcane you can run, and it is absolutely cracked on a gas electricity setup like this. Now, if I were to do this on a normal Excalibur instead of Umbra, which has 2 innate Umbra polarities, I would actually drop crit and I would go with Condition Overload instead of Sacrificial Pressure, and then probably Weeping Wounds instead of Sacrificial Steel. Alternatively, if you want to keep the crit, you can swap Sacrificial Pressure for Condition Overload, swap Sacrificial Steel for Galvanized Steel, and then run Blood Rush instead of Organ Shatter. Also, don't forget a priming pad, especially if you're going that Condition Overload route. I think it should come as no surprise that I'm going to recommend you give this a shot. It's just a really strong, solid setup. Excalibur has been one of the most solid frames for an extremely long time, and he will continue to be that for a long time to come. A good Exalted blade setup will always tear stuff up. It's a really fun build that does good damage and is fairly flexible. You can change quite a few things on both the frame side as well as the blade side. My setup is fairly basic on both ends, so if you'd like something fancier, definitely give that a shot as well. Play around with different builds, experiment, maybe you'll find something that suits you even better. And as always guys, I thank you very much for watching and I hope you have enjoyed the video. Then I would also like to extend a special thank you to all the channel members. Thank you very much guys, I really appreciate your support, it means a lot to me. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.